I know you've seen this online where somebody asks, is America a Christian country? And then someone says yes, somebody says no, they argue, and nobody gets an answer. My name's Adam Scott. It's complicated. Let's talk about it right now. To be able to answer that question, we have to understand three things: the Enlightenment and the 30 Years' War in Europe, colonial American culture, and then the US government and the Constitution. So in European history, before the founding of the United States, the 30 Years' War was a period of intense conflict where millions of people died across Europe. It was a conflict between Catholics and Protestants trying to figure out both who was in political control of the continent as well as theological dominance. The Enlightenment thinkers of the 17th and 18th century, they saw this and they said, this is not a good idea. These religious conflicts cause tons of sectarian violence, inter-Christian violence. Thus, we are going to create a new type of system, a system where values and ethics and morals are disconnected from their theological background. Thus, when the colonists come to America in the 17th and 18th century, you have people whose ideas are being shaped by people who do not want theological violence and intersectarian conflict, but they did assume that society was going to be Christian. And why is that? It's because all of Europe was a Christian society. Yes, I know there were small pockets of Jews and other religions there. However, dominant culture of Western Europe was Christian. Therefore, the people who came to the United States, they assumed that any structure in place was going to be based upon a Christian shared ethic and value system. It was with this background that the men who wrote the Constitution established their ideas and then the subsequent amendments, establishing the freedom of religion. However, what does that mean? The idea of separating church and state, the point of that at the time of the founding, based on the historical context in which almost all modern historians agree upon, is that the US government was created to stay out of specific Christian sects, not to eliminate religion from the United States. And the reason for that is the framers of the Constitution wanted to avoid the sectarian interfaith conflict that occurred during the 30 Years' War. Yes, while the United States is not an official Christian state, the documents that created the United States government were written in a time and context where they assumed everybody was Christian or at least shared a Christian moral framework. My name's Adam Scott. Let me know what questions you have. I'm glad you're here.